Hello, Lit Geeks. Hello, Younglings. Today I'm going to discuss to you my song analysis of the 90s song 25 Minutes Too Late by Michael Learns to Rock. I know that this is an old song, but trust me, you're going to love the narrative in this song. So as I analyze this today, I'm going to treat it not as a song but as a narrative or a story. Okay, so songs can also be a very good source of narrative. There are a lot of songs with very good stories or narrative. For instance, this song, 25 Minutes Too Late. For you to enjoy the story, the narrative in the song, I'm sharing the link to the music video below. Okay, kindly check the link below. The first literary element that I can see in this song is the narrator or the point of view, okay? Telling this story. So visibly, the narrator is first person, okay? As we can see in line 1, after some time, I finally made up my mind. I and my, okay? These are first person pronouns, okay? Therefore, the narrator is a first person point of view. Next, the protagonist, the main character, of course, is the narrator, okay? Which is the I, okay, in the story, in this narrative. When we say protagonist, it means the main character or the main or the focal point of a narrative or a story. Next, the setting. The setting, when we say setting, we talk about the time and the place element. Okay, we cannot separate the two because a specific event happens in a specific at a specific place and at a specific time. Okay. So the place setting of this narrative is at the church. Okay, it's the place where he saw his lover or former lover, his loved one. Okay, and then the time setting, this happened on the wedding day of his ex. Okay, that is why 25 minutes too late because the girl was already married officially 25 minutes ago when he arrived at the church. Next, the plot. When we say the plot, it pertains to the events, okay? So, the type of plot that I can see here is a linear or chronological plot, okay? So, when we say chronological or linear plot, it means that the story was told according to the time that they happened, specifically from the beginning to the middle to the end. So chronologically, here is what happened in the text in the narrative. Okay, he realized how much he loved the girl. Okay, he searched for the love of his life. He found her at the church. That is the climax. Okay, she told him that he was 25 minutes too late already. Okay, so ending, he was going home with regrets. Okay, sad story, right? Next, I'm going to discuss the conflict of the narrative or the story. So, there are two types of conflict. We have internal conflict, the character versus the self, and we also have the second type, external conflict. Under external type of conflict, there are different subtypes. Okay. Now, in this narrative, I can see character versus circumstance. When we say circumstance, it means a situation. So, why is it character versus circumstance? Because, again, the narrator or the protagonist was already 25 minutes too late when when he arrived at the church. Okay, at the wedding. So it cannot be character versus character in my perspective, in my analysis. So why is that? Because it says here from the song, we can see the line, boy, I miss your kisses all the time, but this is 25 minutes too late. So we cannot say that the girl does not love the protagonist anymore, okay? It's just that he was 25 minutes too late. Next, I'm going to discuss the theme or the topic of this narrative or story. So I can see from reading the lyrics, from reviewing the lyrics, I can see the topic, regret, or maybe the one that got away. Okay? You can also say that that is the topic. Now, from the theme, we can connect the morals, okay, that we can get from the story. When we say morals, these are the lessons that we can learn and apply in the real life context. So, the first moral that I can see is in the story or in the narrative is regret is in the end, right? Regret is not at the beginning, it's always in the end, okay? Why is it in the end? Because as we can see in the line, after some time, I finally made up my mind. So he took his time to make up his mind. She is the girl, and I really want to make her mine. Okay? So, boys, okay, if you are in love and you know in your heart that you love somebody, don't wait for too much time. Okay? Let me also quote the line from the song, I'm sorry about the things I've done. So it's implied that he hurt the girl of his life, okay? The love of his life. Another moral that I can see from the song is some things are not meant to be, right? As evident from the text or from the lyrics, boy, I missed your kisses all the time, but this is 25 minutes too late. So even if the protagonist says sorry, even if he went searching for the girl, it was already too late. Okay? She's already married and there's nothing that both of them can do anymore. So what is the main takeaway from this story or narrative? Say sorry while you still have the chance. Don't wait, okay? Don't wait before it's too late, okay? Next, I'm going to discuss to you the imagery that I can see from the text, from the lyrics, okay? From this song. When we say imagery, it means that words that help the readers to vividly imagine, okay? There are five types of imagery, okay? For sense of sight, and then sense of smell, sense of hearing, of taste, sense of touch, and then in other references, there are also other types like kinesthetic for movement, like actions. We can also see visceral images for emotions, okay? And then there's also thermal for temperature, okay? And also, we can also see the highest, okay? Or the imagery for mature people, sensual imagery, okay? Just like the Christian Grey level of imagery. So the first imagery that I can see is visual imagery. Okay, this is again visual imagery means images for the sense of sight. Okay, so from the line in her wedding dress. Okay, so when we say wedding dress, we can imagine white, long white gown, right? A long white gown, right? Okay. Next, I can also see auditory imagery. Auditory means for sense of hearing, okay? So from the lines, inside my head, still I can hear the words she said. I can still hear her say. I really love the song. I love the melody. Please watch the music video. I can also see kinesthetic imagery here. When we say kinesthetic, it means for the sense of for movement. Okay, images that show movement. Okay, for example, Against the wind, I'm going home again. Okay, against the wind. It means he is forcing himself. Okay, that's why against the wind. We can also call this a symbol, okay, an action symbol, okay, meaning that, again, it is what he is doing. He is going home against his heart, okay, what, against his plans, against what he wants, okay. Next, the fourth and the last image that I'm going to discuss to you is visceral imagery or for emotion. Okay, images that show emotion. Okay, example from the line wishing me back to the time when we were more than friends, because now they are only friends because they broke up already, because as implied again in the line, and I'm sorry for the things I've done. Okay, we can sense, okay, with that line we can sense that he is regretful, okay, and that he has this wishful thinking. If only I could turn back time, maybe in his head I would not hurt her anymore. Okay, I wouldn't have hurt her if only I could turn back time. So there, I hope you enjoyed watching the music video and the analysis, the literary analysis of 25 minutes too late. Thank you, Lit Geeks. Thank you, Younglings. Bye.